So you'll notice now we know we're in the last step of creating our coverage period. There are two pieces. On the left is select enrollment types. On the right is define employee classes. So if we look at select enrollment types, you'll see underneath we have the selected enrollment types with the default of employee only and family. This means we have to have at least two enrollment types. We have to have at least single and family. Now, under here are the other available enrollment types we have to work with. Now, if we're working with a standard 4-tiered plan, what we would do is we would click the plus sign to add in employee and spouse. And then we would also want to come down and add in employee and children. So now we've got our standard 4-tier enrollment types. Now notice underneath we have two other ones. So if we get into carriers that start to differentiate their premium for employee, child, and families based on number of children, here's where these would come into play. So if we had a different rate for one child versus children, we would have both enrollment types. And we can click on the minus sign to remove an enrollment type as well. Now the other thing to understand is that when we're setting up our enrollment types, don't base it on current. We need to enter in the most enrollment types we're going to be using. So if we have a 4-tiered current coverage and we're going to move or get a quote from a carrier who's going to use 6 enrollment types, we would need to enter in 6 enrollment types to be able to accommodate all of the plan designs throughout the coverage period. All right, so we've got our selected enrollment types. Over on the right is where we would define employee classes. Now, we're not going to go through classes in this training. That's actually a separate session. But here, if we click yes, we can enter in employee classes. Now, classes allow us to subdivide employees for the sole purpose of premium share, and that's key. We can't do a different HRA benefit by classes. It is specifically for premium share. But in cases where we want to divide up employees for purposes of premium share, maybe different locations, union, non-union, we're seeing a lot of wellness-based contributions where we're starting to incorporate wellness classes for determining employer contribution of premium. That's what we would be doing in classes. But for now, we're going to click no. We've got our enrollment types, our classes. We're going to go ahead and click finish to continue on.